family secret did you suspect in childhood, but weren't able to confirm until adulthood? My dad Frank disappeared in the summer of 1998. I was 8 years old. One day he was there making pancakes and complaining about the Phillies. The next day he was gone. Your father's working on a really big project, my mom Christine told me, and my little brother Joey. He's going to be gone for a while, a few months maybe. Joey was 5 and didn't really process it. I asked when he'd be home. When the project is done, sweetie. I asked if we could call him. Mom's face did something weird, like she was trying to smile and frown at the same time. He can't really take calls right now. The project is in a place with bad reception, but he'll be home before you know it. Dad was an HVAC technician. He fixed heating and cooling systems in commercial buildings, schools, office parks. Sometimes he'd come home with stories about crawling through tight spaces or working on rooftops in 100-degree heat. It was hard work, but he seemed to like it. I accepted Mom's explanation because what else was I going to do? Dad was on a big project somewhere. He'd be back. About 2 weeks after he left, I was supposed to be asleep, but came downstairs for water. Mom was on the phone in the kitchen, cords stretched across the room so she could look out the window while she talked. I know he's locked up, Marie, but that doesn't mean I can just... She saw me and stopped talking. Hey, honey, what are you doing up? I told her I wanted water. She got me a glass, walked me back upstairs, tucked me in. I lay there thinking about what she'd said, locked up. The words rattled around in my head. I pictured Dad in one of those big commercial buildings he worked in, stuck somewhere. Maybe he'd crawled into an air duct and gotten trapped. Maybe a door had locked behind him and he couldn't get out. It made perfect sense. That's why he couldn't call. He was locked up in the building somewhere, probably in the vents or a mechanical room, working on the big project. I told Joey my theory. He asked why someone didn't just unlock the door. I explained it was complicated. That's why it was taking so long. Summer passed. Mom was stressed all the time, snapping at us over small things, apologizing immediately after. Her sister Marie came over a lot. They'd sit in the kitchen drinking coffee and talking in low voices that stopped when Joey or I walked in. Money got tight. We stopped going out for pizza on Fridays. Mom started buying the generic cereal instead of the name brand. She picked up extra shifts at the hospital where she worked as a nurse. In October, Dad came home. He showed up on a Tuesday afternoon. I got off the school bus and he was standing in the driveway, thinner than I remembered, wearing clothes I'd never seen before. His hair was shorter. Hey kiddo, he said, like he'd just been gone for the weekend. I ran to him. He picked me up and spun me around. Joey came running out of the house and tackled Dad's legs. We were all laughing and crying, and Mom was standing in the doorway with her hand over her mouth. That night we had spaghetti, Dad's favorite. Everyone acted like nothing had happened. He told a story about a guy he worked with who'd fallen through a ceiling tile. We laughed. It was normal. It was fine. Life went back to how it was before. Dad went to work every day, came home at 6, watched TV after dinner. Nobody mentioned the big project. After a few weeks, it felt like he'd never been gone. I didn't think about it much after that. Became one of those weird childhood memories that didn't quite add up, but you just accepted. 20 years later, I was home for Christmas. Dad and I were in the garage. He was showing me some tool he'd bought. We'd been drinking beer, talking about nothing important. Remember that time you disappeared for a few months when I was a kid? I said it casually, not really thinking. Dad stopped messing with the tool, looked at me for a long moment. Your mom told you it was a work project, right? Yeah. I thought you were locked in a building somewhere. He laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. I was locked up all right, just not in a building. What do you mean? He set down the tool. I was in county jail, Danny. 3 months, dealing coke. Your Uncle Ray and I had a thing going, got caught. I took a plea deal, kept Ray out of it. I stood there holding my beer, trying to process it. You were dealing drugs? Was, long time ago. Did my time, got clean, never went back to it. Your mom and I decided we'd never tell you kids. You were so young, we figured what was the point. We stood in the garage in silence. I could hear Mom and Joey's wife laughing about something in the house. The big project, I finally said. The big project, Dad repeated. He picked up his beer. Your mom always was creative. We never talked about it again. But every time someone mentions a big project at work, I think about my dad locked up in county jail while I imagined him trapped in an air duct somewhere. And I don't know whether to laugh or feel sad about the whole stupid thing.